for work. This is what I would typically do in the mornings that I have to work, just because it doesn't take too much time and I've got it down to a T. First, I'm going to take my Tarte Clean Slate Smoothing Primer. This one I just put on the areas where I need lines filled, my pores filled around my nose, and then around on the top of my cheekbones where I do have a lot of texture and a lot of large pores right there. So I just use that one for a couple areas. I don't rub it, I just put it on and then rub down. I don't try to rub it in circles or it will start to pill up. And then I'm going to take this Loreal Magic LUMI Primer. This is new for me, but I've so far really liked how it's turned out under my makeup. It gives me a nice radiance to my skin before I go ahead with my foundation. And the radiance does peek through, so I really have been enjoying this one. And I also really like the price of this one too. It's not expensive at all. Just gives a wonderful glow to the skin. Then I'm going to mix together the L'Oreal TrueMatch Lumi Foundation with the Rimmel Lasting Finish Serum Foundation. I have the L'Oreal one in Classic Ivory and the Rimmel one in 010 Porcelain. I'm just going to take one pump of the L'Oreal and then half a pump of the Rimmel, just because the L'Oreal one is pretty yellow and the Rimmel one is really light with the pink, so I mix them together to give my perfect color. And I'm going to use my Sephora Pro 47 brush to apply the foundation all over my cheeks. I don't like to apply the foundation directly on my forehead just because my lines are so prominent on my forehead that it just sinks in really deep when I try to put too much product up there. So I just try to mainly focus it on the areas that I need coverage, which is around my nose and my cheeks and my chin. And I'm going to blend it all out with a Real Techniques sponge. It takes a while to blend because I am really picky. So I love to make it look as flawless as I can. I'm just going to add a little bit more to my cheeks and nose just because it's not really covering very much. And you have a little bit of redness poking through, so I'm going to try to build it up just to cover it a little bit more just on my cheeks. Next, I'm going to take my Maybelline Fit Me Concealer in the shade Fair. Put a couple dots under my eyes and then around my nose where I have those hormonal red acne marks. And then a little bit on my chin where I have some redness as well. And I'm going to use my Sephora Pro No. 71 concealer brush to blend that out before I go in with the Real Techniques sponge. I love this concealer brush. It blends everything out so nicely and doesn't take up any of the product. Drugstore concealers are by far my favorite concealers. Nothing compares to the Maybelline Fit Me and that Maybelline Age Rewind. Even the ones that I've spent triple the price on, they've not even come close to looking as good as these two concealers that I've fallen in love with from the drugstore. They're just amazing. They're so moisturizing and so hydrating under the eye, and they have never creased on me. Okay, and then let's just go in with my Illamasqua cream pigment in the shade Hollow. I like to use a cream contour a lot of the times because it is more natural looking. Once I blend it out, this is a little crazy right now, but I will blend that out. It is a nice gray undertone, which is perfect for people with fair skin. because the contour is supposed to be a shadow. It's supposed to look like a natural shadow on your face, not an orange strip of bronzer under your cheeks. This just gives a nice natural appearance. And I always like to contour my chin. Try to take away from that double chin as much as I can. And I'm using my Zoeva paint face brush. It's super soft. It's way better than that NARS Ita one that people keep using on YouTube. Then I'm going to take my Real Technique sponge again just to blend that out and not make it look so harsh because it's looking a little crazy right now. Don't worry, I will blend that out. And then bring the one under my chin, down my neck a little bit so it's not just a nice, so it's not just a line under my chin. Then I'm going to take my MAC paint pot in the shade Painterly just to prime my eyelids and to cancel out any of those veins and dark shadows that I have on my eyelids. This is a super soft paint pot type thing. I've been using this, I feel like since grade 10. It's been around forever. It is my favorite thing to put on my eyes. I'll even wear this alone by itself if I don't feel like putting on eyeshadow, and it just looks wonderful. It looks so clean and blends out nicely and looks just like a nude eyeshadow. Then I'm going to set my under eyes with the MAC Pro Emphasize powder anywhere that I put the concealer with my Wayne Goss Airbrush. This is the softest brush in the entire world. All Wayne Goss brushes are just amazing. You can get them off of Beautylish, which is where I got mine. It's like the most multitask brush ever. You can use it to set your concealer, use it for blush, use it for contour, use it for powder. It's honestly the best brush in the entire world. It's made from blue squirrel, which is very, very rare, but it is super, super soft. Then I'm going to take my NARS Laguna bronzer to set that cream contour and to bronze my face up a little bit, just to give a little bit of warmth to my white, pasty skin. This is a very nice, subtle bronzer for people with light skin. It kind of reminds me of the Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer, but a little bit warmer. But they both blend out so nicely on the face. And I'm just using my MAC 187 brush to do this. I love this brush. I don't really think it's for bronzer. I think that it's made to do foundation, but I do prefer using my bronzer with this brush. And then my Mary Luminizer highlighter. I just got this highlighter last week. It reminds me exactly of the Becca Moonstone. The color, the formulation, the powder, everything about it reminds me of the Becca one. Except this one shows texture a lot less than the Moonstone one, which is rare, not rare, it's surprising because it is double the cost for the Becca one. I'm just using my favorite Wayne Goss brush, and that is the number 15 fan brush to put this highlighter on. It is the softest brush for a fan brush that I've ever used. Just applies everything so nicely and not patchy and doesn't cake up anywhere. All his brushes are just amazing. Then just do my brows with my Benefit Gimme Brow in the shade number 3. Combing them out first to make sure they're all facing up, and then using the small wand off of the Gimme Brow to put little fibers into my eyebrows to give them the appearance that they're fuller, and just to fill in any of the bald spots that I have, while giving it a bit of color too. It doesn't do much, it just does a nice subtle fill in, because in the mornings I'm pretty lazy. I don't really want to have to color my eyebrows in every single morning for work. I don't have time for that. So this just Makes me feel a little more done up when I at least do something to my eyebrows. So this works beautifully for my routine. And then I'm going to use a couple of MAC eyeshadows. These are the only 6 shadows that I own from MAC. All my other shadows are either palettes or they're from Makeup Geek. I'm going to take the shade Naked Lunch and apply it over my entire lid. This is my favorite MAC eyeshadow. It is the most perfect, neutral, like champagne-y color that you can put everywhere. It's just beautiful. I wear this on its own sometimes when I don't feel like doing anything else. It's the most perfect eyeshadow. I'm using my Real Techniques Dome Shader Brush to apply this. And you really could just stop here and go with mascara, but I'm going to take a different color just to put it in my crease. I'm going to use my Luxie brush and take the shade Soft Brown and put it just in the crease and just in the transition area. It's the Luxie 235 brush that I'm using. These are great eyeshadow brushes. And it's a very subtle light brown color. It's not too dramatic, but it does give a little bit of something extra in the crease. Then I'm going to take the shade Nylon just to highlight my brow bone and my inner corners. And I'm taking my Luxie 207 brush to do that. It just has more of an angle to it than the other one did. This one angles right under the brow bone really nicely. And it has a point at the one end. And this is my favorite color for highlighting the brow bone. It's the MAC Nylon. And I'm going to apply a little bit of blush with my Wing Goss Airbrush. This is the MAC Melba. It is the only blush that I even own. It's very subtle, and this brush just applies it so nicely and so lightly, which is what I was going for, because I don't really like too much blush on my face, if any. So I'm just talking to my husband. He cut his hair, and he's just super proud of it. Wanted to show me. He's so funny. And then I'm going to take my Annabelle Smooth Liner in the shade Brown, just to line my upper waterline. It just gives the appearance that my eyelashes are thicker, and it fills in any of the gaps. At least to me, that's what I feel like it does. And then just my YSL Volume Effect Mascara in the Blackest Black. This is my favorite high-end mascara. I do actually prefer the two from L'Oreal a little better than this one, and they're a third of the price. I love the L'Oreal Voluminous Carbon Black and the L'Oreal Telescopic. This one's good though. I got it at the sale, so it wasn't as expensive as it normally is, but it's still pretty expensive for just mascara. And then I got this Hourglass Girl Lip Stylo in the shade Peacemaker as a 100-point perk last week. So I'm just trying this out for the first time. It's just a nice, looks like a peachy nude with a hint of brown. It kind of matches my natural lip color pretty perfectly with a tiny bit of extra pink. It's very smooth. It's like a lip stain, but more hydrating. It's not sticky, doesn't crease, doesn't feel cakey. It's pretty nice, actually. And it was free. And then I'm going to take my Charlotte Tilbury lip gloss in Ibiza Nights just to top that, to give it a little bit of shine. And this lip gloss does have little tiny sparkles in it, but I don't mind that. And I think that's it, guys. Except this little zit right here. was bothering me, so I had to just put a little bit of extra concealer on it to try to hide it. It was pretty angry. I tried to pop it earlier, but I just pissed it off, I think. So that's better. And that is it for my look for you guys today. This is what I would usually do for work. It's very simple, very easy. I could do it probably in less than 10 minutes if I was getting ready for work in a hurry. But really nothing special, just a natural, everyday work look. Bye, guys.